companions, welcome. My apologies for being absent for a bit. I've been away from the farm for a week or so wasn't able to post. But I'm back now, and hopefully you will join me going forward. I want to spend a bit more time talking to you about the small folk of the veld. Now, as I've often told you, one does not easily come across the larger game in the veld on foot, and even more difficult it is to get close to them unless you're in stalk mode, and one doesn't want to be in stalk mode all the time. You want to walk through the bush and enjoy it. So one has to be content with reading the rich tapestry of the signs they leave behind, which is of course fascinating to me. But also, if you have sharp enough eye, you can spot the small folk. In actual fact, the biomass represented by the insects and microbes is vastly more than all the mammals and the birds and reptiles of the savannah put together. They are woven into the palette of the savannah. The subtle touches of the master's finest brush on the canvas, almost unnoticed. So I spotted this velvet spider. It's a female velvet spider. She is sitting dead still with her legs tucked in. She hopes not to be noticed among the plant debris by this clumsy intruder. I squat down to have a close look at her. She's got a smooth, velvety appearance, and of course this beautifully decorated abdomen. And you can see those two rows of little marks on the abdomen. They look like little eyes, but they're not actually eyes. They are points inside the body where muscles join to their exoskeleton. Sigilla. She is reclusive. She stays in her burrow under a tree or under a rock, and only rarely ventures out, so this was very lucky to find her. The males are tiny, the size of flies, and they wander around in search of mates. But interestingly, because they're very vulnerable, they mimic the movements and habits of dangerous ants to protect them against birds and other predatory insects and so on. Now the female stays in the nest mainly, and there she waits until she is warned that prey, mainly ants, are in those trigger lines that she monitors, and they are struggling there to free themselves from those microscopic hooks on her silk. And she breeds and eats. And once the eggs hatch, then she liquefies her internals and she regurgitates that and feeds the young. And once that is exhausted, the brood will turn on their mother and devour her. Now, this is what we know about them, but I wonder how much of them we actually know, and how much we don't know about the hundreds upon hundreds of other forms of life that are right now around me. If I had sharp enough and trained enough senses, I might have been able to hear or smell or see the lives they lead and how they interact with each other. So as I look up from where I'm spotting, I can see less than 2 meters from me, halfway up thorny shrub, I can see a tangle of spider web about the size of my shoe. This belongs to the social spiders. They're actually related to the velvet spider. Tens, hundreds of them maybe, live in this untidy, scrappy-looking web, and they cooperate in catching prey, and they share their prey, and they also all work on building and repairing the nest, but I'm afraid they're not the most efficient and organized builders. I mean, they can learn from the ants and from the bees. The nest looks really ragged and dilapidated, but actually it's very well adapted to this communal life. It's got a sturdy exterior, and then inside a series of tunnels and chambers, connected chambers, and the tunnels are smoothly lined with silk, and they open on the outside to the outside world. And most of the spiders that live there are females that are related, and they hardly ever leave the nest. Only a few, about 40% of them, will breed, but all the females will look after the young, a bit like hyenas and wild dogs, where there's one female that breeds with an alpha male, and the others are there to support her. Some mature females will, at times, leave the communal nest to start new colonies, and they do this by ballooning, so-called ballooning or kiting. She moves onto a high point, and there she sits, and she tests the electromagnetic field of the earth and the wind, and at the right moment, under the right conditions, she lets out a very fine spray, almost, of silk. And these silk strands that she excretes carry the same charge, a negative charge from the earth, and they therefore repel each other. So they open up from her spinneret like a fan, and then the wind catches that, and she lifts off. She's anchored to where she was sitting by an anchor strand of silk, and that she cuts that, and then she's airborne. And because she is negatively charged and her web is negatively charged, while the atmosphere is positively charged, she can go higher and higher and higher, and they can go very high. Some species, I'm not sure that the social spiders can go that high, but they are said to be able to go up to 3 or more kilometers and travel huge distances across oceans and continents. Anyway, then the moment she is comfortable, this is where she wants to be, she cuts this kite that she's got attached to her, and she comes down, and there she starts a new colony. So I walked a little bit further on, and here I find a globule of foam on a grass stem, about knee height. It's about the size of an oversized golf ball, and it's quite tough and leathery for something that's made out of foam. It belongs to, it's the nymph of the spittlebug. Now, I didn't know that this was a spittlebug immediately, but I later on figured that out by doing a bit of research. She feeds on the xylem of the plant. She sucks out the xylem, and that's her food. Then she excretes the residue together with a sticky substance that she creates inside her body, and at the same time she blows air through her anus into this mixture, and that creates the foam. And the nymph remains inside this foam globule, and it protects her against extreme temperatures and atmospheric conditions, and also provides protection against predators and even against bacteria, because the foam has got antimicrobial properties, apparently. When the nymph reaches the mature stage, she comes out of the globule, and she can hop quite far. She can jump well, and she can also fly. And she then goes to a plant where she feels comfortable, and there she feeds on the xylem. Now, once she's mature and she's mated, then she will lay her eggs in debris on the ground, or lower part of a plant stem, and then when the eggs hatch, the cycle is repeated. And so, all around me, the rhythm of life, seen and unseen, carries on. It changes shape over epochs, seasons, even hours, with so much disappearing before it's even ever known or explained by us. I hope you enjoyed this. Next time, I'll tell you a bit more about the African savanna, of what I've seen there, and I hope you will join me again.